everybody, welcome to yet another Manga Pickups video. Only today, it's the Mega Haul. I got a lot of books to talk about, and I kinda did a bit of a cop-out, and you'll see what the cop-out is in a second. But anyway, let's get started. I've got 3 stacks of books set out in front of me. You can't see it because the camera's right here. But the first stack I'm going to quickly go over, and this is the cop-out, are the books that I've gotten from Loot Anime so far, because it's come to my attention that people that watch the manga pickup videos might not have watched the Loot Anime videos. So anyway, up first we have Baccano. And real quickly, this is an Italian mob-inspired manga. This couldn't have come at a better time in my life because I was absolutely obsessed with Sopranos and mob movies overall, so getting a mob-based manga, in all honesty, was a godsend. So thank you, Loot Anime. I have read just this, volume 1. I do plan on getting more volumes of this. I just wish that my local Barnes and Noble actually carried Baccano because they don't. So now I'm gonna have to order them off of Amazon. Me. Up next is Sword Art Online Alternative, Gun Gale Online. Did I say that right? So we got a bit of a flashy cover on this thing. It's one of them Loot Anime exclusives. And I've said it before in past videos, I could honestly give 2 shits about Sword Art Online. I think it's absolute trash. Really nothing to take away or like from it, so when I got this, I wasn't really all that excited. But upon reading this with an open mind, I actually enjoyed this. All the things that I didn't like about Sword Art Online really don't exist in this series. So I do plan on getting more volumes of this, but just like Baccano, my local Barnes and Noble does not carry this. Up next is probably my favorite book that I've gotten from Loot Anime thus far, and that is The Ancient Magus Bride. I loved the ever-loving love out of the anime, and reading the manga, it's nice, it's beautiful. It's like re-experiencing the anime again with just a little bit more attention to detail. Yet again, I absolutely do plan on continuing reading the series, but yet again, my local Barnes and Noble doesn't fucking carry this. Seems to be a bit of a theme here. Anyway, up next is the light novel of Goblin Slayer. Now, I'm not much of a light novel reader. I think I've read all but 1 or 2 light novels in my time. But I gave this a shot because I heard an anime was coming. I think it had already premiered by the time I got this, or it was about to premiere. And in all honesty, I got through this book pretty quickly. It was quite the page turner. The art that is in there is very nice. I still have yet to watch the anime, though I've heard it's worth it from people that aren't offended by everything. Don't think I'm going to get the rest of the light novel series. I think I'm going to wait for the manga to begin serialization here in the US if it hasn't already. But yeah, so far, so good. Really liking Goblin Slayer. And the last of the Loot Anime books is Bungo Stray Dogs. Had absolutely no intention of reading this. It just didn't sound interesting to me. But I was bored, I really wanted to read something new, so I gave this a shot, and holy fucking shit, man. Bungo Stray Dogs is fantastic. I just started watching the anime last night, and I do plan on getting the rest of the manga. That isn't available in Barnes and Noble. Neither is Goblin Slayer, so I'm going to have to resort to Amazon orders. But in all honesty, every one of these books that I've read, they're totally worth paying the extra coinage for shipping, if they don't include free shipping. But yeah, Bungo Stray Dogs. Pretty damn awesome. Now the next couple of books I'm going to be talking about are the new series that I've added to my collection. One of which was a recommendation from Tom, one out of pure curiosity, and the other, we'll get to that. But the first one is the recommendation from Tom, and that is The Elder Sister-like One, Volume 1 and 2. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was getting myself into with this series. The first couple of pages, okay, well, this seems like a pretty basic story to tell. All right, and then some things happen. And it's not so much what's shown in this series, it's more or less what's implied in this series, and if you know the series, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And little did I know, I think this actually started out as a bit of a thin book series before the manga came out. There's only 2 volumes and there's like 8 of the thin books, so I don't know. If you're familiar with this series, please let me know. I can't really find out which came first, this or the thin book. Those who don't know what a thin book is, it's a doujinshi, which is a fan-made hentai. I honestly don't know if I'm going to continue this series or not. I'm going to wait for the 3rd volume to finally come out here in the States. I don't even think it's out in Japan yet, but we'll see how volume 3 fares. Up next was the book that I got out of random sheer curiosity, and that is Tomo-Chan is a Girl. It was categorized as a romance, and I'm a sucker for romances, so I thought, why not? And to be completely honest, it's not as shallow as I thought it would be. It's kind of funny, a little tropey, but I honestly didn't think that I would really want to pick up volume 2 after buying this. I'm one of those people. But after getting through the first couple of pages, I love the comedy, I love the humor in this. The on again, off again, is this a romance, is this not a romance kind of story that's going on here? I mean, the main focus is that it's a unrequited romance, but I just love how it's more of a humorous romance than a serious romance, you know what I'm saying? So volume 2 isn't out yet here in the States, but I definitely think I'm gonna be picking up volume 2 like ASAP as soon as it comes out. But yeah, Tomo-Chan is a Girl. Kind of hoping this gets picked up for an anime. Curious to see where they take it. And the final and the finale of the new names. This was just a one-shot. I think it was 2 volumes collected into one. This came as a semi-suggestion from my friend Andres, aka The Synth Lives. Channel link down below. He had bought it and he was like, yo, you gotta check this out. And I'm like, ooh, let's go to Barnes & Noble. Picked it up right then and there, just based on the cover. The name of this book is Ibitsu. I've been jonesing for a major horror manga since the last major release of whatever they last released of Junji Ito, which I think is Shiver. And just taking a look at the cover of this book, I thought, oh boy, this is where I'm gonna find it. This is where I'm going to get the ample spooks and shivers, man. I can't wait. And what I got was it was kind of, it was fucked up. Yeah, it was very fucked up. And what I wasn't expecting was level of depression that is within this book. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's based on a Lolita trash demon. Basically, it's a ghost that's dressed up as a Lolita that lives in the trash, and if you come across her and if she asks you if you have a sister, you either say yes or no, and certain different things fucking happen, and it's very, very depressing and rather grisly at times, which means it's really, really good. Just be prepared, because there's gonna be some feels attacks in there. And there's also 2 short stories that are included in between chapters towards the end, and those are very good as well. This is the first I'm hearing of this author and artist, Haruto Ryo. But so far, I'm really digging the work, I'm really digging the storytelling, so whatever this lovely human gets published here in the States next, I am definitely going to be there. Alright, now I'm gonna get into the returning series stack. Some of these I bought recently, some of these I bought months ago. I've been saving up a decent pile of books for this episode. The first book is Volume 5 of The Girl from the Other Side. Now, if you remember the last episode, I talked about feels. Well, the feels continue, and they continue to hurt something fierce, son. But the feels aside, the artwork is still fantastic. The story is still enrapturing. I cannot wait to see where this series goes. It's just still the feels, man. There's way too many feels going on with this series, and that's okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate a good feel fest in a manga. It's just I'm never really truly fully prepared to feel whenever I pick a volume of this up because I forget. But yet again, The Girl from the Other Side did not disappoint. This next book took quite a while to come out and quite a while to make it to my local Barnes & Noble, and that is volume 2 of Soul Liquid Chambers. Sorry, I'm covering up the butt on the cover. But everything that I loved about volume 1 made a return here. Lots and lots of really interesting dialogue, really great action pages, lots of character development. This story is really, really getting good, and this is only volume 2. I'm curious to see where this series is going to go, because as of right now, I really don't have like even so much as a guess. Like the way I see it right now, this story could probably end within the next 5 or 6 volumes. I can't see it being stretched out too much unless there's another arc planned, which I who knows. But Soul Liquid Chambers, it's still just batshit crazy. It's still awesome. Read this. If you like zombies, definitely read this. This is a different kind of zombie. This isn't Walking Dead zombie shit, but it's original. It does its own thing, and it does it very well. Up next is volume 3 of World's End Harem. I said it last episode, I'm gonna say it this episode. This is just like borderline a hentai, I'm not even going to lie. There's gratuitous nudity, it's got a very sci-fi themed story going on, and the story is getting better. The first volume just kind of felt like, hey, let's just show a bunch of titties. And towards the end of volume 2, it's like, hey, let's just show a bunch of titties and start getting the story rolling. And here with volume 3, it was, hey, let's show a bunch of titties, but make the story even better. So the story is getting there. It's not just an excuse to look at titties and everything, but I'm starting to enjoy it for different reasons now. I'm sorry, I need a mindless, ecchi kind of a story like this every now and then. You don't really get a lot, and they're really hard to find out in the wild. Speaking of which, I had to get this off of Amazon. This and a couple of these books were from Amazon because Barnes & Noble sucks. Now, it took me a while to get back to the next 2 books. It really did. I was more focused on getting more new stuff. But I am so glad that I came back to this because this story is really starting to bear its fangs, and that is Dead Man Wonderland, Volume 8. This is a pretty thick volume. I think it's a lot thicker than the last volume was, but holy crap. Holy crap. This story is starting to hurt. Like, the feels are starting to really come in, and I think it's a safe bet that the next time I get new manga, definitely gonna get volume 9. I think there's only 12 or 13 volumes, so I'm practically almost finished with this series. But so far, I'm really digging it. Def gotta check the anime out after this. And then we have volume 6 of Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Or is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? This was a very good volume. I'm really liking where the characters are going. I'm really liking where the story's going. I'm really enjoying how the main character is being set up in this story. There was a couple moments in here where I was, getting a little tense, a little anxious, but it all paid off in the end. Just like Dead Man Wonderland, I don't think it's even going to be a question in my mind that I have to get volume 7. Alrighty, up next we got a double twofer, volumes 5 and 6 of Platinum End. This series takes so friggin' long to come out, both in Japan and here in the States. I feel like the Death Note team are definitely taking their time with this story, but you know what? It's paying off. A lot of things are going down, and they're going down in a way, in a premise that is starting to surprise me, because in all honesty, this started kind of playing out like Death Note a little bit, but now it's really starting to branch off and be its own series, and I'm really digging it. I am a little bummed that I gotta wait as long as I do for this series to come out. The payoff, it's most certainly worth it. Waiting on that anime! Up next is Volume 3 to one of my new favorite series from my very favorite mangaka ever, Inyo Asano. This is Dead Demons Destruction Volume 3. You want to talk about feels. Every book that I've stated in this video so far that had to deal with feels, it's nothing compared to this volume. We've got the loss of a specific character. Everybody is going through changes. Everybody's life is changing. And I feel it. All the main characters are going through a moment in their lives where not too long ago I was going through somewhat of the same thing. So Inyo Asano, as per usual, captures that feeling perfectly. Not even in just the dialogue, but just the looks on some of these characters' faces, the way they act, the way they deal with certain things that go down in this volume. It's Inyo Asano. It's pure greatness. And oh man, Volume 4, I have a feeling Volume 4 is going to be the kickoff point. I have a feeling that's where shit's gonna start getting just bonkers. Maybe not poon levels of bonkers, but bonkers nonetheless. And now, the most important book, I've saved it for last. Most important book out of the entire haul. This is a finale. And it's the finale of The Flowers of Evil. Again, I was expecting the worst. I was expecting to have my heart manhandled and crushed under spiked combat boots. Thankfully, it wasn't that bad. But I just want to say, the way this manga ends, the first ending, might I say, wow, totally not what I was expecting. But then the second ending, which is technically a beginning, there was no dialogue for the second ending / beginning. And it was hard just to flip through. And if Shuzo Oshimi were to ever do that beginning as a series, just like a short, maybe 4 or 5 volume series, I would buy it instantly. I cannot even begin to describe just how sad but beautiful this series was. You know, I'm very sad that it ended, but I just started rereading the series just so I can, soak in all of the genius in it, because I do plan on doing my first manga review on this series, and like, now that I've seen how this ends, things are starting to make more sense, which makes things even sadder going through it a second time, and I absolutely loved it. Next to Poon Poon, The Flowers of Evil is probably my second favorite manga series of all time, and it's only made me love Shuzo Oshimi's work even more. Flowers of Evil, Happiness. He's got a new series out that I really want to read. It hasn't begun serialization in the US yet, but I hope it does, just because of how well The Flowers of Evil is probably doing and how well Happiness is doing. I'm hoping it gets to that, because he's become like my second favorite mangaka of all time, next to Inyo Asano. One hell of a fucking ending. I love this ending so much that I plan on getting the singular volumes. Like, even if I have to order them off of Amazon, I plan on getting the singular volumes. I plan on picking up the anime, even though the anime is utter shit. I started watching the anime, and why would you choose that kind of animation style? Like, I get it, you're trying to, you're trying to impress people. You got a whole new way of doing animation. Just, this was one hell of a finale. It hurt. And it's going to continue to hurt. I know it. But anyway, that was Manga Pickups 12, the Mega Haul. In the comment section below, please let me know if you read any of these manga, if you've watched any of their subsequent anime. And please let me know if you prefer the longer spaces of time for a longer video, or if you would just prefer me picking up 5 books and making a video about it. I kind of really like how this episode went, where I had a lot to talk about and everything, but whatever you viewers want, I will do. Just be sure to let me know. But anyway, that's about going to close it up for this episode of Manga Pickups. I'm going to start saving up some manga for the next episode, unless you guys want that instantaneously. But anyway, I hope you lot have a lovely day, afternoon, night, life day, the whole cycle. And I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody. The manga review of The Flowers of Evil is probably going to kill me.